Hi, my name is Dave Poland. I want to welcome you to Portland Film Beat. Tonight, my guests are James Lyons, director and co-founder, CEO at Blue Retina Entertainment Company, and Ricky Garza, who is the co-producer and actor for the film Valerie Fox Black Moon. My tongue's kind of tied. Let's start with you, James. Where did you train?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I did a lot when I was younger, just freelance stuff. When I joined the military, I started working on stuff like that, and then one of my good friends named Robert Scribner, who now works for bodybuilding.com, he taught me a bunch of stuff. I was in the prosumer era. I worked with him on some short concept projects, concept teasers and stuff like that. Then I went back into the military, and then I really still had the bug, so it was a lot of YouTube school, a lot of video co-pilot school, stuff like that.
You gotta keep learning though. You did it
then
yourself.
When I came back, I started getting back into the whole process, started trying to make another film, which Valerie Fox spawned out of, and now I'm in school currently at Grand Canyon University.
Oh, cool. Did you do any videotaping for the military, or was this just with friends and stuff on the weekends?
Actually, to be honest, I did a few things. It was more of just handheld cameras during briefings and meetings, but it wasn't too much.
Yeah, but that's okay. Yeah. That's great. And Ricky, where did you train, or did you train, or it's just been on set?
It's mainly just been on set, just in the action. Training, doing choreography on set. Throwing it together. Sometimes the night before. When we have deadlines. I did a little acting in school. In theater, and just working. On a whim.
Oh, great. So what first got you both interested? We'll start with you, Ricky, since you're talking. What first got you interested in making films?
I've always been interested in making films. My biggest role model was Jim Carrey, and I've always loved comedy. And I've always thought if I could be like him and make people laugh, that would be my biggest passion and ambition in life.
But you don't make people laugh in
Valerie Fox. Not in this. This isn't the comedic, but we also do have
a comic relief moment.
Okay,
yes, there is. We throw that in there.
All right, I agree.
We love doing comedy. We do a lot of little short films at home, and and it's all comedy driven.
Got a comedy film coming too.
But I can play a serious role as well, and that's the character, my character Uriel in Valerie Fox is a very serious.
We'll see that in a little bit. Sure.
Yeah, protective person. So.
So James, what first got you interested in film?
Oh gosh, okay. So a couple different things. Actually, into just story and ideas. I can't remember a time where I wasn't into that. To include, putting on plays in the basement. When we were younger, all the cousins we'd go over to this one house, and cousins and everybody would be downstairs in the basement, and I would be like, all right guys, let's do this for the parents, and we'd put together skits and plays. I did it once when we were playing around. Like, there was this girl I liked, and always wanted to find a reason to get closer, so I made up a Robin Hood, Maid Marian story where we both died and laid next to each other in the grave. And so from there I caught the bug of creativity in the story realm, and then I've always been into, TV shows, movies, the art of imagery.
Okay.
And as I got a little bit older, I started, film and different things really brought me out of a lot of dark times in my life.
Did you get a smaller, cheaper camera and start doing stuff on your own?
When I was actually doing that kind of stuff, I used to work with just a handy cam. The first stuff that I put together where I had a coherent idea and then wanted to put it, I worked with Avid and a Handycam, and we did some ghost hunting stuff. And I was out in Virginia in the battlefields, and we did little, I guess, jackass type stuff.
Okay.
And then from
really,
there,
I want to see it.
Oh, I don't know if it even exists anymore. It's probably floating around somewhere.
Be there somewhere.
And
the
then
thing about media is I don't think it ever disappears.
But I don't think I've ever put any of that online.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of that was Handycam to the computer, and then to just.
I'll find it for you and I'll put it online.
It could be gone. Anything people put online, I think, is going to be
2003, I think, is when I did those. 2002. Yes, and then when like I said, I joined the military. I was actually headed down to California, and then found out the girl I was with at that time was pregnant, so I stayed. And then eventually, I started getting back into it, but I needed to take care of my family, so I went into the military, and then I did more stuff there.
Wow.
Then when I got out the first time, I met up with my old friend Robert, and he was doing film at the time, and I just caught the bug.
Right. So when did you start Blue Retina Entertainment Company?
2011, 2012-ish.
Why Blue Retina?
Okay, that's actually a good story. We were trying to figure out a number.
Yeah, I was wondering that. It's
We were trying to
interesting.
figure out a name for the company, and so I couldn't figure out like a real good process to do it. I had some names floating in my head, and a guy that was actually going to be part of it at one point. And actually, if you ever see my email, it's lionsroad.productions. That was our original
Okay, right.
idea.
I wondered why that, because Blue Retina and
And
Lions
then
Road, it didn't.
we kind of weren't working together anymore, and also we found out it was taken.
Okay.
So we had to figure it out, and so what we did, it was like, I was like, hey, you throw out 10 names that you like, I'll throw out 10 names. If there's any that match, we'll keep those, and we'll just keep rolling with it. Blue Retina was one thing that's been on my mind for a long time, but I never really, it's just a word, and then we just kind of went to it, and then it was between Blue Retina, and it could have been Ghost Spot. Ghost
Blue Retina's
Spot
better.
Films
Much
was
better.
like the one that was right there.
Blue Retina's better.
It was. Well, I called my mom, my old mother, and I was like, hey, mother, what do you think of this? And she says, it sounds like something that's been around for a while.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, all right, let's do it.
And it stuck.
Ricky, did you help write Valerie Fox Blue Moon?
I've helped kind of guide some of his ideas. I haven't.
Okay.
He's been the main
Okay,
writer.
then, James, tell us the premise of Valerie Fox.
Yeah, I'll say that, but
Blue
first, like,
Moon.
yeah, Ricky has a lot to do with a lot of the elements to it. We've had a lot of conversations on, you know, how are we going to go about this? Why, or how are we going to make her here? And what are we going to do with her? And really, the main premise, to get to the actual question, is Valerie Fox Black Moon stemmed from the series that we were doing, but Valerie basically.
Was this a web series before?
It's still going to be.
Okay.
We haven't finished that, but we're still working on that. We're going to do the film and then go back into that. So what it is, it follows the main character, Valerie Fox, and basically she's like a private investigator. She was adopted when she was younger, trained up in pretty much all the martial arts you can think of, and some
We'll
that
see
you
that.
probably don't know. And then eventually what happened, her adopted father passed away, and she didn't know why, and then all these things started happening, and then she was just thrust in this world of supernatural occurrences, and before she could even get acclimated to it, she was already on a mission.
So, where did the story come from? I mean, how did you think it up?
Okay,
'Cause it is
so-
kind of, it seems, just from watching the trailer, that it's pretty, there's a lot of characters involved.
There's a lot of characters. Okay, so backstory for this goes for years. When I was thinking about the series, I actually had storyline plotted for what would be 3 20-episode seasons at 44 minutes per episode. I already have that plotted.
Oh, that's actually like a TV show.
Right,
Yeah.
and so what happened was I was at work and I was on Facebook instead of working, and I saw a picture, and it was this beautiful woman with these pistols, and she's looking back, and it just had this really cool phrase on it, and I started thinking, wouldn't it be really cool to just make this 10-minute short of just this girl kicking butt? Just this little
But it
pretty
grew
girl
from
kicking
that,
butt.
so it kept growing?
I was sitting there welding, and my wheels just turned, and I was like, well, what if this? What if that? What if that? And then boom, Valerie Fox came about.
Nice
About
job.
it was about.
Snowball effect.
It's been about. I didn't start writing the script for about probably a good 6 months or 7 months of sitting on it and thinking.
The
about
wheels
it.
were grinding the whole time, though,
And then
right?
it took me about 2 years to write the script, roughly.
That's a good thing that you took that long. A lot of people write something in 2 months and then shoot it.
Right.
I think it takes time to develop a good story.
It does, and I'm
character.
a big pre-production guy.
Good for that. I'm glad of that. So you come up with a shot list and everything before
Yes.
you do it. Very good for you.
Shot list, all the way down to, okay, I think about roughly what lenses I would like to use for that, and then I
Good.
talk about it with the DP and see what he thinks.
I think it's good that you think of those things. Actually, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a minute and a half and we're going to watch Valerie Fox Black Moon. It's the trailer,
It's the concept teaser.
the concept
yeah.
teaser trailer for it. We'll be right back.
This is my world, my domain. I rule, and she will die.
Your realm? Your world? You are a silly child. Allow me to let you in on a little secret. You see, I made you. You're here because of me. And Vlad, if you think that Valerie is just some girl, my son, you are already dead.
You think that this girl will stand a chance against my men. Against me, I face armies of men. She is a human, nothing more.
I will leave you now, son. She is already here.
That was quite interesting. So the imagery and the sound in that are really good. What kind of camera did you use?
Well, we're working with a DP. His name's Chuck Greenwood. He uses a Blackmagic cinema camera.
Oh, they're very good. It's a 4K?
With prime lenses. Actually, that one that we shot with wasn't.
No, it's
I
okay.
believe. I can't remember. He wanted. I can't remember now. It could have been. I don't remember. But we are going to, when we work with the actual film, it's going to be 2 Blackmagic Cinema 4Ks with. We're also going to be using a couple Blackmagic pockets.
Nice. And so who did the sound?
Well, the audio recording for like the vocals and all that, and room tone and different things like that, that was done by Chuck Greenwood as well for that shoot. Todd Hansen was the boom op and all that.
Okay, so you had a boom operator. And
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And then the orchestra, the music in there was written and composed by
So you had somebody compose that?
Sean Cody out of North Carolina.
Oh,
He's gonna
okay,
be
so this
composing.
wasn't just clipped from the
No. He's gonna
purchase.
be composing the entire film once it's done. His name's
Right.
Sean Cody. He's out of North Carolina. Dreamhammer Productions or something.
Ricky, what are some things you learned making the teaser trailer for Valerie Fox Blue Moon?
I learned a lot about acting. I learned a lot about choreography.
Did you do the fight choreography?
I worked with, actually just alongside some of the actors. Todd Hansen helped me with some of the sword fighting, and it was kind of just like thrown in there. The hand-to-hand combat, Jeffrey Arrington and myself and James kind of came up with the fight scene, and just rehearsed it over and over and over and over.
Good for you.
Right.
And so that was one of my favorite things, and one of the only things that I did in the trailer was just action, hand-to-hand combat or sticks fighting, and kind of bringing that action.
So it's good. Going into shooting a feature or actually a bunch of web series, it's going to help you a lot then in the future.
Right,
So
absolutely.
what did you learn just from shooting the teaser trailer, from actually the information you already
I learned
a lot,
that
and
what
so,
you think might be impossible is possible. We when we went to go shoot the majority of that, we lost the day before we were supposed to shoot. We lost the location. We lost a guy that had the lenses. And because originally Chuck, who's actually working on the project, I didn't think he was going to be available for that weekend. And so we lost this guy who was going to have the lenses for us. All this stuff
That's a
went
big
down.
loss.
All this stuff went down, and so we were going to have 2 12-hour days of shooting. Okay, we lost our locations, so we had to go. Oh gosh, I forget the name
Scour
of the
the town.
studio. This is a martial arts studio in Portland. Very gracious, but we got basically 3 hours a day to shoot there. An hour of that was lighting each day, so we had like 4 hours of shoot time. I had to figure out how to take the trailer script that we had, and on the fly, in the moment, I had to pick it apart and figure out what was important and what wasn't, and get it on the screen.
you did it though. I have to commend you for that. So tell me, let's go back to you, Ricky. Briefly describe the appeal that you think Valerie Fox Black Moon will have for audiences.
I think it appeals to anybody who's into supernatural and action, mysterious kind of themes. You know, it follows angels and demons. It follows vampires. It follows a lot of detective sci-fi drama that I think is going around a lot of television shows right now, and I think a lot of people will latch onto it. You know.
James, how do you think Valerie Fox Black Moon will primarily differentiate itself from other films in the same genre or the same type of
Well,
work?
one big thing that Will's kind of separate, kind of has, I guess, a spoiler alert tone to it. The creatures they come from what's called the Nephilim, if you've ever heard of that.
No, I haven't.
So there's different people that think different things about what that is. There's different legends on it. It's really comes from a biblical story where the angels came down and mated with mankind, and
Okay.
they spun the Nephilim. And it's a lot of times they talk about it being giants and stuff. But what we've done is said all the mythical creatures that you know of, all the legendary creatures you know of, were actually born out of the Nephilim. They're different kinds of Nephilim. Vampire, we call them vampire. They're not really vampires. They're bred.
Nephilims.
They're bred. They're
I'm going to write that down after
Yeah,
showing
the
the film.
vampires are bred. They're not created like with a bite.
Oh.
They give birth. They can walk during the day. All that stuff's out the window.
So, James and Ricky, who are some of the actors and crew and stuff besides yourself that were in some of the other actors?
See how many you
Who
can
played
remember.
Valerie Fox?
Lise Fosmark. Yeah,
Was
she's
the last
very
Valerie
talented.
Fox, yes, and she's very talented, great to work with. And Aaron Hagen, Jeffrey Arrington, Todd Hansen actually played,
Yeah,
but
he played Chromehead.
yeah, Chromehead, the guy we don't have a name for.
Isn't who was the first girl? The girl's name?
Lise
Elise
Fosmark.
Fosmark.
Doesn't she do a lot of filming in Oregon too? Portland, I mean.
Yeah, she lives here now. She did John Freeman's story. What's the other
That's
one
okay.
she
I just
did?
wanted to check.
Yeah, there's a few things that she's done
We
here.
want to talk about your project
Right,
down
right.
here so much. So, James, how do you work with the actors? It's a tough question.
Well, it's not really. I mean, I get what you're saying. So, the approach that I take first is, I kind of make sure that at least, in some way as a director that I have positive control over the movements and what's going on and that I'm aware of everything. Other than that, what I do is I try to get a feel for each actor and how they work best and like what their personality is so that I can take that and find the proper, because I see directing as more of a leadership influence role.
Right.
So not only are you trying to oversee everything that's going on and being able to think, equipment-wise and what needs to happen and your shots and your vision, you also have to be able to convey your vision to the actors and actresses in a way that they understand it and can pull it off. And so what I try to do is I run I would say it's kind of a tight ship as far as, we got to get to the core of what's going on, and I try to get it on camera, and then after that, I kind of let them play around with what we're doing and see if they can come up with some great ideas on how
Okay,
to.
so you work
throw
with
the
them.
cre-
You don't try and push them. You pull
No,
them.
and
That's
it's
good.
it's kind of a tiered system. Like I have, okay, let's do this, but then now let's explore what we can do.
All right.
Especially with time constraints, you kind of have to be on it.
Right now, Valerie Fox, Black Moon, is on Indiegogo. Is that right?
It is on
And
the
you're trying to
Indiegogo
get
campaign.
some help with that.
Yes,
Go ahead, talk
so
to the camera. Tell the
What
camera
we're doing
right
with
over
the
here.
Indiegogo, if you go to
it's that one.
www.indiegogo.com.
There
Which
you
one?
are.
Camera one,
There
camera
you
two,
are.
camera one, camera two. So if you go to indiegogo.com, you search Valley Fox Black Moon. We have a campaign going. We're trying to raise basically a retainer fund, and then we're going to go in with True Earth, and they're going to help us out with the rest of that stuff. So it's a collaborative effort, and so we're trying to raise those funds to get it going in the direction it needs to go.
Do you use the camera yourself, or do you have a cinematographer?
Yes, for these
How do you
projects.
work with the cinematographer then? Are you pretty hardcore? You actually say, let's go, it's a collaborative thing where you take
With-
their advice on stuff.
Yes, it is collaborative because, well, the guy that I'm working with now, Chuck, I've been working with for a long time, so I've kind of understand him. He lives in my area. I know what how kind of starting to get a feel for how he thinks. Now, what I do as a director, because I see myself as someone who knows maybe a little bit about everything, but not enough. If I were to touch
Kind
the
of a jack of
camera,
all
I would know
trades,
enough
yeah.
to mess it up. So what
good
I
that
do
you
is
know
I
that.
say, like we were talking about earlier before, is when we come up with a shot list, I'll be like, I'm thinking, on this shot, I want to go 35, OTS with, let's pop that baby up on your shoulder, and we just talk about it and discuss it. And then he says, well, this won't work because,
Okay.
or he throws me an idea and I say, I don't know because this is
Okay,
what's going
great.
to happen next. So we do work together.
So, Ricky, how long have you two worked together, you and James?
Maybe 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
I actually auditioned for him I jumped out of my shell and got brave enough to audition for a show and came to Portland. Turns out he lives not too far from me in Central Oregon.
Is that right?
And so got to be.
But you were auditioning in Portland.
I was auditioning in Portland. I came
Yeah.
up to Portland.
Well, his
along
first
with a few
audition
other
was a
people.
video audition, and then
Yeah,
we
that's-
did
that's true.
that stuff. And he was
do
one
you,
of the
do
first
you do
guests.
commercials?
I've done a couple of those. When I was,
How many commercials have you made?
I helped make one.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
all right. That's you did one.
I made an advert for, it was an electronic cigarettes company. We were working on that. Robert Scribner, the guy who taught me.
There's a big thing out now about the
right, yeah.
electronic cigarettes being
Yeah.
15% more formaldehyde than a
They
regular
were going to
cigarette or
discover that
something.
one way or the other.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Anytime you're breathing something like that in
Yes.
your lungs, it's probably not good.
Right.
So what are your strengths as a filmmaker?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I can do things. I don't know. No, I think the one thing that I think I have going for me is just the fact that I don't really like the word "that can't happen" or "no,"
He's
because
persistent.
I can't see
Very
it
persistent.
as that. I've never been able to see it as that. So like when there is an issue where it's like, I don't think we're gonna get the shot, I feel like we still can get it in one way or another.
So Ricky, what strengths did you find in yourself making Valerie Fox by Black Moon?
Oh man, I was very, very nervous. I mean, you could tell in my first audition that I was nervous because I kind of went over the top with being on film.
Right.
You know, I'm not afraid to get goofy or act around with people, but being on film and having it recorded, and I was just nervous to see what it was like afterwards. And actually, I got very excited once I seen the quality that we were producing after we filmed it. I think we all were pretty surprised from our first shoot as
See,
to
some
how
people don't like to
well
see
it looked.
themselves on screen.
And I was
don't mind.
fearful. I was fearful, and as soon and once I saw it, I was actually pretty.
It
pretty
relaxed
happy.
you a little
Yeah,
bit.
it
didn't
relaxed me a lot and took a little weight off my chest and
Is that right?
got me
Good.
more excited about it.
What are your weaknesses as a filmmaker then?
That I don't believe that there's such thing as no.
Good.
My strength is my weakness. I
Oh,
guess
really?
it
Oh, that's a
kind of
good
gets us
answer.
into trouble sometimes.
Is that right?
Push too far, you end up, you
Demanding
know,
too much, maybe?
Well, more like, you know, you push yourself so far that maybe, you know, you might actually run out of money when you think you can't, and you might actually run out of
Isn't
time when
money
you
the big
think you
problem for
can't.
all filmmakers?
And sometimes when you're pushing that hard, eventually you're just out there, and I mean, I think you got to do it, but that can really take you into some
Right.
places.
What is your favorite part of filmmaking?
Oh man, that's one of the most difficult questions I've ever been asked.
Well, Ricky, what's your favorite part?
Really, everything in filmmaking is fun to me. I like the suspense and like trying to hold something back from the audience and get them wanting more, and then
Good.
just lay it on them.
Right.
That just gets me excited, you know,
All right.
building up that suspense.
So, what's your least favorite part of filmmaking, James?
I would say having to have money.
Isn't that tough? Yeah.
Everything else, there's nothing
Okay,
I
so
don't
what other
like.
things?
What's that?
Is there anything else that
I
what's the
don't
one
like.
that you dread?
Ooh,
Editing? Do you do the editing?
You know, I don't like to edit too much. I don't dread it, but you're right. Yeah, I mean, I edited the trailer piece, but we are gonna farm out the other one, the
Right, you
actual
should, yeah.
film.
If
I'm
you-
not. I enjoy it on some projects, but it's just not me.
I think
Right.
you would really enjoy having more time to just be a director
Yes.
and not have
Exactly.
to do all the other first AD stuff and picking the shots.
Well, Ricky,
and all
you're
that
supposed to be doing that,
I'm
aren't
supposed
you?
to, yeah.
Man,
I wish I had
you
more
just signed
time.
up
He
for
puts
a
me
new
on
job,
film
bro.
too much.
Have you ever written any other screenplays? Oh, here's a question. You've written Valerie Fox. How many pages is it?
It's almost 90 pages. It's 85 right now. I'm putting 5 more pages in here this week.
Wow, good for you. And you've been working on it for 2 years.
Well, yeah.
That's good, though. You know, people rush these things. I think that sometimes a good screenplay takes time to ferment and get
And I
good.
think it was just because I didn't have the resources to shoot it when I wanted to.
So, who's your favorite director? A-list director.
Well, it's a couple. I like Kevin Smith's one of my favorites, and Quentin.
Name a film.
Quentin Tarantino. Oh gosh, all of them. Mallrats, Chasing Amy, but I really like Dogma.
Okay, we just named that. And the other one is Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, everything he's done. Of
Right.
course, you know the obvious answer. You know is Pulp Fiction.
Oh, of course.
I like Inglourious Bastards a lot too.
So, and
Reservoir
Ricky,
Dogs is probably my favorite.
Who's your favorite?
He kind of stole my answer, and I was going to tell him not to steal my answer before.
Okay,
he
so
came.
then we'll
But
go to you first.
I like Michael Bay as well. Michael
Okay.
Bay is great.
Can you name a film?
He's hated on, but he's great.
Yeah, I think he's great. Transformers is
Okay.
a great one.
Bad
They're very
Boys.
popular.
Yeah,
All right.
Bad Boys is great.
We're going to go with you first then. Who is your favorite actor and then actress? Okay, that said, it's going to be a two-part question. Who would you like to work with as an actor, another actor and actress? A-list.
Like I said, Jim Carrey's always been my biggest
Okay,
role model ever.
I like that.
I would have to say that Jim Carrey would be my all-time dream
Okay,
to
who
work
would
with.
who is an actor and an actress that you would like to direct?
Actor and actress. Well, that like
Doesn't have to be
Bradley
the same film.
Cooper would be one I'd love to direct and work with.
He's really come a long
Clint
way.
Eastwood would be another one. And they just did a film together. I know
Yeah,
it's
but
kinda
Clint Eastwood
convenient.
directs all his own films.
That's what I'm saying. As far as actress, I don't know. I
Yeah.
haven't really had time to think
Do you-
about that one.
is there an actress that you've thought of?
So many of them.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, no.
What film for Valerie Fox Blackmoon have you drawn inspiration from?
So many.
Oh, really?
Oh yes. And
Just
most
name
of
a
it's
couple.
TV shows.
Oh, really? Well, TV
Alias,
shows are actually becoming
yes.
really good.
Alias, CSI, Supernatural. Yeah, those are like the
Okay,
core
great.
of it. There's a lot more influences.
Is there a certain type of film genre you're drawn to more than others?
You know, I would say actually I'm more drawn to comedy.
Is that right?
That's what's really interesting.
It's
about
interesting
it,
that you're making this film. Okay,
Yes.
and you? Comedy
as
the
well,
same?
yes,
Right.
yeah.
The other projects we're working on
Okay,
are more
so what's
comedy-oriented.
what's one of your favorite comedy films?
Oh gosh, This Is 40 is really good, and there's so many good ones.
Right, and Ricky, would
I'm
you
a
have
huge
favorite?
fan of Jack Black films when it comes to comedy, and I obviously said Jim Carrey already.
All right.
I like Tropic Thunder. That was a great comedy
Right.
film. My favorite comedy series is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's
They
a
just
good
take
one.
it to a whole nother level of comedy. and
Okay.
Yeah. Anything with Paul Rudd in it's funny.
Not assistant director, but if you could be the assistant for a director or an intern for an A-list director and learn from them, who would it be?
Learn from them. For me? You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm going to ask him next.
I'd probably Stanley Kubrick.
Okay, I understand that, but is there someone alive?
I don't know, probably Kevin Smith then, but Stanley
Uh-huh.
Kubrick would be great if that ever was possible.
Okay, good.
You never
That's
know.
Right.
I would have to say Tarantino just to see how he
Yeah.
gets people to do some of the things that he does.
Right.
Just to see how he gets them to be so raw and bring out, I mean,
So I was going to say, as an actor, what director would you want to work with? And I take it would be
Me.
Quentin Tarantino. All right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And James Lyons, of course.
Of course.
But, that dream's already come true.
Right. Okay. I want to thank James and Ricky for showing up and being on the show. I have to thank my director, Ellery Nelson, my assistant directors, Phil and Susan Holmes, my producer, who's also my wife, Carol Polden. There's a couple of people down here at TVC TV that I always want to thank, and that's Krista and Christo. They give me a lot of help and keep things going here. Until next time, I'm Portland Film Beat. Shoot for the silver screen.